Good evening and welcome to our final pre-match analysis of 2025 as Real Madrid prepare to face Sevilla. It has been a demanding year for the club, marked by inconsistency and turbulence, but this final fixture offers an opportunity to close the calendar year on a positive note. Beyond the result itself, this match carries significant weight for a coaching staff under growing pressure, with the outcome likely to shape the immediate future. Before turning our attention to the game itself, let us begin with a review of the Madrid-based press and the key stories surrounding the club. We start with Marca, which unsurprisingly places Kylian Mbappe at the center of attention. The French forward is on the verge of a historic milestone, 58 goals in 58 matches played in 2025. He is now just one goal away from matching Cristiano Ronaldo's record of 59 goals set in 2013. Although achieved in fewer matches. While Ronaldo's goal-per-game ratio remains superior, the evolving football calendar, particularly the expansion of European competitions, is likely to see several long-standing records fall in the years ahead. Mbappe has already scored 28 goals this season in just 23 appearances, underlining his central role in Real Madrid's attacking output. The paper also reports that Eduardo Camavinga, Ferland Mendy and David Alaba have returned to the squad and are available for selection. Whether they will feature remains uncertain. Camavinga, in particular, continues to be one of the season's question marks. Limited playing time has stalled his progress, and unless his situation changes, his long-term future at the club could come under review. Attention also turns to head coach Xabi Alonso. His record so far stands at 21 wins, 4 draws and 5 defeats in 30 matches. On paper, the figures are far from disastrous. However, at Real Madrid, expectations are uncompromising, and the concern lies less in the numbers than in the performances, especially during a difficult November and in recent displays that have raised doubts about the team's direction. Another major talking point comes from an interview with Itziar Gonzalez, a former nutrition specialist at Real Madrid, which has sparked controversy within the club. Gonzalez claims she was personally recruited by Florentino Perez, only to face hostility from the club's medical staff from her first day. According to her account, she was viewed as a threat, undermined internally, and deliberately discredited in front of the club's president. She alleges that players were served food she had explicitly advised against, despite the well-established link between nutrition, performance, and injury prevention. Given Real Madrid's recurring injury problems in recent seasons, these accusations raise serious questions. While the club's medical department maintains that nutrition and supplements have no direct impact on injuries or performance, several players who worked with Gonzalez, including Dani Carvajal and Rodrigo, reportedly experienced clear improvements, such as reduced fatigue, fewer cramps, better agility, and overall physical condition. Gonzalez describes the players as professional and respectful, but believes they were caught in an internal power struggle. She claims she was eventually banned from contact with the squad, denied access to matches, and dismissed. Regardless of the legal outcome, this episode highlights deeper structural issues within the club. There appears to be a breakdown in cohesion at multiple levels, from the sporting direction to internal departments, creating an environment of rivalry rather than unity. The perception is that Florentino Perez's authority has weakened, and that the club is increasingly reliant on its historical prestige rather than forward-thinking governance. This situation inevitably impacts performances on the pitch. There are parallels here with Cristiano Ronaldo's return to Manchester United, where he publicly expressed surprise at how little the club had evolved. One wonders whether Xabi Alonso, upon returning to Madrid as head coach, has experienced a similar realization. A club of immense stature, yet resistant to modernization, tactically, structurally, and even in areas such as sports science and nutrition. Real Madrid has long operated under the belief that tradition alone guarantees success. But modern football demands anticipation, innovation, and continuous improvement. While rivals quietly evolve, Real Madrid risks falling behind. Former striker Joselu recently alluded to this very issue, suggesting the club may be missing an essential competitive edge. He recalled a dressing room where the vast majority of players fully understood the responsibility of wearing the shirt. Whether that same intensity still exists today remains an open question. Recent images from the touchline tell their own story. Players appearing relaxed and disengaged during tense moments, while the coach stands visibly anxious, aware that his position may hinge on a single goal. As Real Madrid head into this final match of the year, the challenge goes beyond securing 3 points. It is about restoring standards, urgency, and identity, values that once defined the club at every level. When you truly play with the feeling of being a Madridista, something extra naturally emerges. When that element is missing, you feel it immediately. I felt it myself. Nacho would give everything for this club. Dani Carvajal would do the same, even playing through serious physical issues. Lucas Vázquez shared that same mentality. The same was true for Fede Valverde and Vinicius at their best. This is not the first time former Real Madrid players have indirectly questioned the attitude and commitment of the current squad. Karim Benzema has said it. Toni Kroos has said it. Now Joselu is expressing similar concerns. The recurring theme is troubling, a lack of self-criticism and accountability among the players. While there has been recent public support for Xabi Alonso, it feels more like opportunism than a genuine alignment with the coach's project. There are warning signs. Without being alarmist, it is difficult not to feel increasingly pessimistic about how this situation can realistically be resolved. One recent incident has intensified the debate. Footage circulating internally showed several players laughing and joking during a tense moment, while the coaching staff were visibly under pressure. The contrast was striking. It gave the impression of a dressing room disconnected from the gravity of the situation. The reality is that many players feel protected. Their contracts, status, and external interests offer a sense of security that shields them from consequences. Until strong authority is reasserted at club level, players will continue to operate without fear of repercussions. That has been the pattern for some time now. There are also sporting concerns ahead of this match. Federico Valverde did not train with the squad and remains a doubt. His absence would be a significant blow, particularly given the already limited options at fullback. Dani Carvajal remains unavailable, and the depth in that position is once again stretched thin, a scenario that has become all too familiar over the past 2.5 seasons. As for team news, Carvajal, Militao, Fran Garcia, and Trent Carreras are unavailable. Hendrik is suspended following a red card. Camavinga and Ferland Mendy have returned to the squad, while Asensio is also back after illness. His presence could be important, as he remains one of the few players capable of bringing character and intensity to this side. Xabi Alonso has also reportedly apologized privately to Victor Valdepeñas following post-match comments in which he suggested that a goal conceded stemmed from Valdepeñas' sole mistake. While the remark may have been harsh, particularly given the player's overall performance, the broader issue remains the same. Once again, it is the coach stepping forward to take responsibility. Rarely do we see the same level of accountability coming from the players themselves after a run of poor performances. The press conference concluded shortly before kickoff. Alonso described this fixture as the final match of the year, stressing the desire to finish strongly, secure a third consecutive win, and begin 2026 with renewed energy and optimism. He appeared tired, restrained in his answers, and largely stuck to the basics. Still, the message was clear. Winning is essential, especially with the Christmas break approaching. Historically, early January fixtures have often been problematic for Real Madrid. With 2 upcoming home matches and rivals facing difficult away trips, there is a clear opportunity to rebuild momentum in the league. If Real Madrid have genuine title ambitions, these matches must be won. Asked about the club's support, Alonso spoke of a relationship built on respect and high expectations, acknowledging that the journey would include ups and downs. It was a diplomatic answer, one that avoided addressing the underlying reality. The perception remains that institutional backing has been inconsistent, with damaging information allowed to leak at sensitive moments. On Vinicius Jr., Alonso framed the issue as a matter of timing, expressing confidence that the goals would return soon. However, the numbers are concerning. Vinicius has gone nearly 15 matches without scoring, and his performances over the past year and a half have lacked consistency. At this level, sustained form is non-negotiable, particularly when contractual discussions are ongoing. Performance must come first. Regarding Rodrigo, Alonso was unequivocal. His return is a major boost. He brings balance both in and out of possession. Whatever criticisms exist, his defensive effort, movement between the lines, and ability in tight spaces remain valuable assets. The hope is that this period marks a turning point for him, even if history suggests maintaining consistency has been a challenge. Finally, Alonso addressed the possibility of using more attacking profiles. He noted that the team has done so at times, highlighting Hendrik's ability to create space for Kylian Mbappé and the need to adapt against deep defensive blocks. This remains a tactical issue. Too often, Real Madrid dominate wide areas without sufficient presence in the penalty box. Where once a striker attacked the near post instinctively, today the box is frequently left empty, forcing midfielders to compensate. On Valverde, Alonso confirmed that a final decision would be made after assessing his condition in training. As Real Madrid approach this match, the questions extend far beyond tactics or team selection. They concern leadership, identity, and whether the club is still capable of holding its standards at the highest level. We are waiting for everyone. We need them. Other players will be reintegrated gradually. Turning now to the league table. Real Madrid remain 4 points behind Barcelona. As for Sevilla, this is no longer the dominant side that once dominated the Europa League under Unai Emery. This is a mid-table Sevilla, currently 9th in the standings. Their record reflects that reality: 6 wins in 16 league matches, 2 draws, 8 defeats, with 24 goals scored and 24 conceded. Momentum is clearly lacking. Recent results underline their difficulties: defeats against Espanyol and, more notably, a home loss in the Seville derby against Betis. This is a team that is struggling. Their situation is also reflected in their transfer policy. Sevilla have relied heavily on free transfers and short-term solutions, bringing in experienced but aging players such as Alexis Sanchez and Cesar Azpilicueta. Their biggest fee this season amounted to just $250,000. Spanish football as a whole is facing financial constraints, and Sevilla are no exception. At the same time, the club has been forced to sell key assets, generating over $50 million through departures, including Loic Bade and other important players, simply to balance the books. The result is a squad that has been weakened and patched together through market opportunities rather than long-term planning. Tactically, under Matias Almeida, Sevilla are expected to line up in a back 5, likely shifting between a 5-4-1 and a 5-3-2. The approach is predictable: a low block, compact lines, minimal space between units, and attempts to strike in transition. Given their current form, this is a match Real Madrid should be expected to control. Historically, the head-to-head record strongly favors Real Madrid. In their last 36 meetings, Real have won 27 times, with only 6 Sevilla victories. The most recent encounters confirm that trend: a 2-0 win last May, followed by a 4-2 victory at the Bernabeu the season before. Real Madrid have not lost to Sevilla since 2018. These statistics must always be treated with caution, but Sevilla are neither a psychological obstacle nor a team in good form, and stylistically, they tend to suit Real Madrid. As for the expected lineup, Thibaut Courtois is set to start in goal. With suspensions and injuries limiting options, Fran Garcia is likely to feature at left back. In central defense, Raúl Asensio is expected to return alongside a very young partner, forming one of the youngest defensive pairings in the club's recent history. David Jimenez is also likely to start, adding to the inexperience at the back. Aurelian Tchouameni is expected to operate in midfield, though his recent performances have been uneven. Jude Bellingham remains a key figure. Federico Valverde would start if fit, but his availability remains uncertain. In his absence, Mastantuono could be preferred for his off-the-ball work rate and balance, particularly against a low block. Up front, the attacking trio is expected to be Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappé, and Rodrigo. Rodrigo's recent form and confidence make it difficult to imagine him starting on the bench again. The setup is clearly offensive, but against a deep defensive opponent, greater attacking presence in the box will be essential. Defensive transitions remain a concern. The responsibility will fall on players like Bellingham, Rodrigo and Mastantuono to provide balance, as neither Vinicius nor Mbappe are known for sustained defensive effort. In terms of the match scenario, Real Madrid are strong favourites. However, the key factor will be the opening goal. An early breakthrough would ease the tension, settle the players, and reduce the visible anxiety on the touchline. If the game opens up, Real Madrid have the quality to take control. There are nonetheless reasons for caution. This defensive unit is extremely young, and Real Madrid continue to show vulnerability when defending transitions. Sevilla, despite their struggles, have the capacity to exploit those moments. A controlled but competitive match is expected. The most likely outcome appears to be a Real Madrid victory, though not without resistance. A 3-1 scoreline would reflect both Real Madrid's attacking superiority and their defensive fragility. That concludes this pre-match analysis. The focus now shifts to the pitch, where Real Madrid will aim to close the year with a convincing performance and restore a sense of stability before the winter break.